I don't know if it went in limp mode or what, but I gotta turn around. What's up, guys? Today I have like an hour, maybe like an hour and a half to work on this car. I'm gonna try to confirm that the turbo is leaking. I also want to check underneath to see what kind of oil I'm leaking. Let's see, what's the game plan here? I will start the car for just like maybe a minute. Well, one thing is I want to see if it's smoking immediately on a cold start. The second thing I want to do is not let the car warm up, because I don't really want the turbo to be able to like burn off all the oil that's sitting near it. So I don't want the exhaust to get super hot. I'll pull off the downpipe, pull off the turbo outlet piping, and see if I can find any oil sitting there. Yeah, it smokes immediately. That makes me think that it's not the turbo. How would the turbo be hot enough already to burn off oil inside it? Big cloud already. Alright, I'm just gonna shut it off there. Camera seems like it's not doing well with the light. That's good. I can jack up the car and start taking a look. There could be oil already up in the manifold and in the throttle body, or the charge pipe from the turbo outlet. So if the turbo is leaking oil and going through the boost piping and then into the intercooler, up there, charge pipe, manifold, then yeah, that would make sense to me that it'd be burning oil immediately. So that should be pretty easily confirmed if I just pull off the turbo outlet piping right there. All right, I had a quick phone call I had to deal with for my job, so that kind of cut down a little bit of the time I have. There is a little bit of oil dripping still. It's not nearly as much as it used to be. I mean, as you guys saw, the entire backside of the motor used to be drenched. It's hard to tell, but it is significantly better. Looks like there's a bunch of oil up here on my tie rod. Not sure how that really got there, or if that's old or what. It looks like there's a bunch on there. Probably is not old. Cam adjuster side of the head is still leaking. All right, there you can see a big droplet on the head. Let's pull off this, see if there's oil in here. There we go. Looks dry to me. I don't see any signs of oil being in here. All right, so definitely no oil in the turbo outlet. So the compressor side seal is good, at least, but the turbine housing seal could be damaged still. So I have to pull the downpipe off over there to check that. So since I'm finding a lot more oil, I'm gonna try to locate the highest point that there is oil. It's really hard to see back here. I might have to take my intake back off. It's just annoying taking this intake off. It goes all the way down to the turbo inlet. Like there's no easy way to get it. Like there's no easy way to get it off of that little silicone elbow. So instead I have to just go all the way down to the turbo, which is a pain in the ass. Gotta get underneath the car and stuff. Yeah, it is very wet. Up on the head, I'm like right above that runner right there to the on the manifold, right above that on the head. So how would oil be getting right there? I don't know. Just resealed the cam tower, put a new valve cover gasket on. The cam housing could be leaking. Don't know if it would then, yeah, it could then go over on the head since the engine kind of sits very slightly down towards the passenger side. So this is how I remove my intake. Stick a screwdriver all the way up here to undo this clamp. It's pretty annoying. Way easier to do it from underneath the car. Technically doable from up here, but not easy. All right, I got the Big Daddy off. So what I can do is check for shaft play, since if you blow your seals, you're probably gonna have shaft play. I feel a little bit, see if I can get that on video. No, I can't. I feel a little bit, but it's not. I don't think it's any more than it should be. All right, now I gotta get the dump tube off. Just gotta undo this V-band clamp. I just put back on yesterday, and yeah, I really gotta do something about my intake bouncing up and down on this wastegate, because it is like eating through the wastegate, and more importantly, it's also eating through my intake. I think this can probably take a beating and be okay, but my intake is pretty thin metal. It's probably gonna wear through if I were to drive it like that for a few thousand miles. So it's already like significantly marred up. If you look at it, it's marred up pretty bad right there. This is like pretty thin aluminum. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna do that. Then I'll loosen up the downpipe clamp right there, and we'll take a look inside. All right, dump tube coming out. This thing is nasty. So much carbon inside it. So I gotta do this clamp right here. It's pretty tricky to get to. And I have to do the clamp on the other side of the downpipe underneath the car. So I'll do the bottom one first, but then I'll move up here and do this top one. I'm about to take the downpipe off. I got it mostly loosened up, that top clamp. Before I do so, I just wanted to grab this light so I can see if a bunch of oil drops out of it. Trying to turn this so I can look into it. Man, this light gets caught on everything. Got caught on this over here, and then it got caught on this AC line. Yeah, I'm not seeing any signs of oil dripping through that. This is just a disaster with this light. The turbo doesn't look wet. Doesn't look like there's any like oil leaking out of it. Maybe I can feel for shaft play over here. Seems like a normal amount. Bypassing the intercooler right now. Yeah, it's definitely oil. And it is rich too. Yeah.
Your MK station. We thank you at bp.com/thankyouheroes. And insurance. We know that everyone's a little too where you live or what you drive.
No.
If she's afraid of him?
I'm not sure why there's so much right here. I'm not dumping anymore. I don't have that hooked up. What is up with all that? Where is that coming from? So up until now, I thought that the smoking issue was, I thought that it first started after I accidentally sealed the crankcase, but I was watching my videos last night, and apparently it started after I installed the aftermarket cams. It had nothing to do with the sealing the crankcase problem. So while that is like kind of relieving to me, because I was really concerned about all the bad stuff that could have happened from sealing the crankcase, it's still, you know, I still have to get this figured out. I still have no idea why it's burning oil. I'm gonna take it for a little drive. All right, we'll start logging this. All right, everything feels normal. Gotta drive super carefully in my neighborhood so that people don't yell at me again. Got some crazy people living in this neighborhood. I'm the friendliest person ever too. Like, I waved to everyone, like I wave and smile at everybody. Some people just hate this car, which is really crazy to me. I mean, the car like practically looks stock. It's just, you know, on the loud side, but it's not even that loud. It does pop and bang a little bit, but there are people way worse than that. There are people way worse in my neighborhood with the pops and bangs. Car feels great so far. It's smoking a lot out the, you can see it out the mirror. I've been taking on-ramps so slowly because I'm used to how poorly my RSX handles. And I forget that this car has actually has nice tires and like a decent suspension. So on top of me having laptop problems, seems that I'm also having camera problems, because this camera, like, it just can't deal with the light anymore. Like, look, you guys can't see anything. Pretty sure it's not normal. You guys can't see shit. I'll have to grab my GoPro the next time I drive, because it's a little difficult doing this. Alright, let's give Frank a close to watt here. You guys hear that vibration in the back? Hear that? Around like 2200, I have this crazy vibration that's coming off one of these like side panels of my car in the back. Super annoying. Definitely gotta fix that. So my car suddenly doesn't feel as good. Something's not right at all. I'm like flooring it and nothing's happening. I don't know if it went in limp mode or what, but I gotta turn around. I'm flooring it. Nothing's happening. It's not hitting boost or anything. So I gotta figure out what's going on. I'll scan it when I get back home. All right, I'm back. Logging, let's just get what kind of codes it's throwing. Got a whole lot of codes, great. Fuel pump signal wire, ignition controller, cylinder 1, 3, 4, and 2, all of them. Turbocharger, wastegate, solenoid A, low. Evaporative emission system purge control valve. Turbocharger bypass valve. Almost sounds like I have a loose harness somewhere, because all of my coil packs and the N75 are all on the same harness. Fuel pump is reminding me of when my car wouldn't start. My PM4 suddenly just wasn't getting power, so maybe that is the problem. Maybe I have just a bad wire back there. About to flash this new file from Frank. He said that it should feel much better. And while it is flashing, I'm gonna take a look at my wiring, see if I can maybe see a connector that's loose. Something that would be throwing off that entire harness with the coil packs and the turbo. So that guy is still flashing over there. The only thing I can find as far as this this wiring problem, the electrical problem. I got a code for every single spark plug. Sorry, every single coil pack. The N75, which comes off of this wire, same harness. And I'm pretty sure this valve, and maybe now that I'm thinking about it, maybe the fuel pump code wasn't for the low pressure pump, maybe it was for the high pressure pump, because that's also on the same harness. I'm gonna start the car. It is a new file, so I'm just gonna start up and see how it runs with it. I'm just gonna let it idle for a little bit. I don't have time to take it for another test drive, unfortunately, but I will later tonight. Damn, all that smoke. So I'm looking at I took pictures of the fault codes that I got. The top one is P3089. It's a fuel pump electronic signal wire. It says electrical malfunction. It's sporadic, so that one might be a little bit tricky to find unless I just see that the wire is damaged. So I'll check that one out later. First, I'm gonna work on all these other codes that all come from the same harness. So I have all 4 coil packs, it looks like. The ones I'm gonna do first are these static codes that come back pretty much immediately. This P0245, that says turbocharger wastegate solenoid, so that's the N75 valve. P0458, evap emission purge control, that's the purge valve. And the P0034 turbocharger bypass control circuit. So that's the N249. That's your diverter valve. So all 3 of those say static. So all 3 of those get the same power. If you look right here, here's man, my camera's not doing too good. All 3 of them are right here, and they all connect to this same wire right here. So this wire comes off the harness and then it splits 3 ways and goes to each one of those, the DV, the N75, and the purge valve. Thinking either that power ground, that red and white power wire is either breaking apart in one spot, or its ground is bad. Don't see where the ground is, but on Volkswagens the ground is almost always brown to my knowledge. So I'll just check the ground and the red and white, and hopefully I see something. All right, let's take a look, see what we can find. Oh shit, I think I found the problem already. Apparently my N75 wires touched the exhaust manifold, melted right through the plastic, and looks like it might have, I mean, this would be a huge coincidence if this wasn't the problem. Looks like it might have fused the red and white wire. The red and white wire is the one I was talking about before. That's the power. Might have fused that together with this other wire, which must be a ground. So if that shorted, it means that it shorted the power everywhere. So everywhere along that harness. Like I said, that harness is connected to also the DV. So that means that the DV power and ground are now shorted, and it also means that my purge valve power and ground are also shorted. I'll just disconnect the battery, start prying away at this, see if I can separate that, and I might have to solder in some new wires right there. I'll have to devise some kind of way to keep this harness, like that wire, all the way up and away from the manifold, like so that it comes straight out the side over here instead of coming around to the manifold again, so that doesn't happen again. So that is why the car went in lit mode. Makes sense. Alright, so I got the battery disconnected. Okay, so I got this guy to pop off here. They are really stuck together big time. Okay, there we go. Honestly, they're probably fine the way they are. I could probably just put some electrical tape over them and it would probably be fine. If all that happened is that they got hot, the insulation melted, and then, you know, they just kind of like melted on each other, that shouldn't affect the thickness of the copper wire. So the wire should still be fully intact. It's just that it's missing its insulation. So I'm just gonna wrap them in some kind of electrical tape or something like that. Start up the car, make sure that clears the codes. The worst case scenario is that one of these wires is too thin and it's kind of like breaking. And if that is the case, my car will just go into limp mode. So it's not the end of the world. All right, I got both of those all taped up with electrical tape. This is ready to go. Okay. You know what? All three of those codes are still there. So I still got my purge valve, my DV, and my N75. They all still say static, no signal, or no communication. So maybe I blew the fuse when I did that. I'll have to look at the fuse. I think it said it was let's see, it's actually right here. It says fuse panel B, fuse 7. There's a 7 right there. Doesn't look like it's broken. I'll check it anyway. Nah, that fuse is not broken, but it might not be the right one. So my buddy's coming over and I'm gonna help him data log with his car. I'm gonna go do that. He also has a big turbo Mark 6 GoFar. He's running a EFR turbo, but he's shooting for 500 wheel horsepower with water meth, and he's trying to tune the water meth himself right now. He's just trying to make sure he doesn't blow up his car. So I assume I'll be holding his laptop, making sure everything looks all right. So I'll have to resume investigating this later. All right, I'm back at it again, trying to fix these electrical issues. But really what I should probably do first is just make sure that everything is getting proper voltage, so I can go put the key in the ignition and check my voltage readings on the 2 terminals for the DV, 2 terminals for the purge valve, and the 2 terminals for the N75. So thankfully the little terminals aren't so little, they're pretty big. I can just stick these guys right on there. It's reading 0. Supposedly I'm supposed to be getting around 8.5 volts to all 3 of these. So the N75, the purge, and the DV should all be getting about 8.5. So yeah, I'm not getting anything at all on the DV. I'm gonna check the N75 right here. I'm assuming it'll be nothing since it's getting the same power as the DV. Yeah, it's not getting anything. So I'm not getting power at all. Yeah, that's the only damage that I've seen. So I'm thinking this triggered popping the fuse, but when I pulled that, it was good, and that is not broken. So I'm thinking there's another fuse that's involved in this. So I gotta just look at the fuse box diagram again and see if I can find another fuse that would be supplying power to this area over here. So I just went inside and looked at the wiring diagram again, and apparently I misread it, because it's actually fuse number 9 that has these 3 connectors on it. So let's check fuse number 9. 7, 8, 9. This little 10 amp guy right here. Oh yeah, that guy's done. I don't even need to test it. I can just visibly see the thing is destroyed. It's a pretty easy fix. All right, I just ran the AutoZone, picked up some 10 amp fuses. Jesus Christ, that was loud. Okay, no more of that. All right, so what I'm gonna try doing here is pull the valve cover off, pull the PCV off, put the PCV delete plate on, and then just vent everything out the back. And you know, while I have the valve cover off, I'll get to see what that looks like. Maybe this whole thing is just clogged full of oil and it's just not getting good ventilation. I'm not sure. I still haven't taken this off since the smoking started, so I think it'd be a good idea. Okay, I have the valve cover off. It was dripping way more than I've ever seen it drip. It looked like it was dripping right off of these guys, which are like the, I don't know what they're called. They basically, they're kind of like filters. They just drop the oil, any oil that's up in the valve cover, it just drops it right back into the head. So you can see there's like these cutouts, like right there, there. Yeah, I've never seen it drip that much. I'm thinking this guy might be cracked somewhere. There might be way too much oil getting into the valve cover. I've never looked at the valve cover this closely before. Well, I guess I'll take the PCV off, put that block off plate on, and then just run everything out the back. All right, I haven't really found anything useful. It's kind of been like looking inside here, seeing how it works. And I don't know if I'm just being paranoid, but kind of looks like my oil is a bit shiny. So that's a little scary. Looks kind of shiny over there too. Nothing to see here. Got everything torqued back down. Drives all right. Yo, I should not have just done that. Oh my god, I just gapped the f***ing life out of that car. So it does get up to 20 vacuum when I'm like engine braking, but most it really gets otherwise is like 18 on a cold start, and then it gets down to like 16 once it warms up. All right, so I've been idling here for a couple minutes. Still says 17.5. Let's see what happens when I stab the clutch. Okay, it goes down to like 14. Okay, it goes back up to 17.5. Hold the brakes really hard. Nothing changes, it stays at 17. It drops to like, oh, I forgot, you have to pump it. Pumping them goes down to 16. It's not that bad. But yeah, the clutch drops it all the way down to 13. All right. It seems to be spooling really slowly again. Like, watch. Third gear. think that's normal. Full boost is around like probably just after 4,000. There's something not right. I feel like I'm still at square one here. I have no idea what's going on. I'm going to, so today a leak down tester was supposed to arrive from Amazon in the mail. Instead I got something else from Amazon. I didn't even really care if it showed up. It should be here tomorrow, we'll see. That should hopefully shine some light on what's going on. The smoking started after I swapped in these aftermarket cams. But I mean, there's no reason these aftermarket cams would affect anything unless like some of my valve seals like somehow got messed up when the springs were completely out of tension. When I took the cams out and the springs became fully extended, maybe something happened to the valve seals. I don't know. That's a huge stretch, and I don't even think that's, I'm just thinking crazy thoughts now. Cause like I'm trying to think outside of the box. You guys like my light that's out, my OK button? That shit is out. I mean, it still works, it's just not lighting up. I don't even care what it is at this point, I just wanna know what it is. Because if I don't figure it out soon, I'm probably just gonna pull the whole motor and put something else in. And it won't be an FSI motor if I do that. Thanks for listening to me ramble. Thanks for watching the video. I will see you guys in the next one, and you know, hopefully there will be some progress in the next video. If you made it through this entire video and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I'm still trying to get to that 1,000 mark. I'm not even close right now. I'm like at, I don't know, around 600. I'll see you guys in the next one.